Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Raw Life Health Show, and I wanted to just make this video because there are people that just don't understand, and it's understandable that they don't understand. What don't they understand is not only a vegan, but a raw vegan diet. Now, it's very understandable because until you're doing something, you can't experience what is being done. So somebody who's never experienced true health, they don't understand what true health truly is. So if you live smoking cigarettes your whole life, that's something you experience. Then if you stop smoking cigarettes, now you can see the difference. But if you never stop smoking cigarettes, you don't know what the other side looks like. And I spent much of my life eating an unhealthy diet, or much of my early life eating an unhealthy diet, and experiencing the life or the health or the disease that goes along with that. And I pretty much did it all when it comes to diet. So when people talk to me about this carnivore diet or eating a lot of meat, when I was a teenager, that's what I did. I understand that I did it, but I also understand and know how I felt. And then when I started eating a raw vegan diet, I know the difference, the way I feel, and at my age now, the way I feel, and I know how great I feel. And when I express to people how meat and eating animals just is not good for the body, it just slows you down. It adds to disease and all these things. I understand when people say, well, they don't agree with me or they find it hard to believe. But I'm the one that's experiencing this now. And there's no panaceas out there. I mean, I remember when I first went to Hippocrates Health Institute in West Palm Beach, Florida, I asked them, I said, why does raw food heal the body? And they corrected me and they said, raw food doesn't heal the body. The body heals itself when you give it what it was designed to have. So it goes right along with what Dr. Fred Bishy tells me is health doesn't begin with what we add to our diet. It begins with what we eliminate. Eliminate the things that are creating a problem, and there will be no problem. And I had to come to realize that it's not the food that's doing the healing. It's the body and the way we were created. The body is a self-healing, and that's what it does. It cleanses itself when we give it enough sleep. It works properly when we don't clog up the plumbing. And when we surround ourselves in the right environment, we don't get mentally disabled. But when people do the opposite, they stress themselves out physically, emotionally, on every single level. They're eating the foods that are just clogging them. Gluten is literally glue. It's like taking glue and it's clogging your arteries. And meat is just acidic, leaves off a lot of waste left over that putrefies in the system. Not following food combining, eating too much processed sugar creates fermentation. These things result in headaches, stomach aches, sinus issues, all the way to diabetes and cancer. So health doesn't go where we add to our diet because we leave out. So you cannot experience sickness the same level as you do when you're doing the things that create the sickness. Now, there are some other things that we don't have control over. The air we breathe, if we're in the wrong environment. Well, we could say we have control over that if we get to the right environment. But for the most part, we do have control over what we put in our mouth, what we put in our mind, what we put on our bodies. And we know just through example and through also science what the reaction is to the body to do with certain things. There are certain foods out there that are labeled poison, meaning if you eat something, it's poison, it can kill you. However, your body can adapt and get used to doing that in a little ways. So yeah, if you take a bottle of poison, it's not good. But if you take a drop of poison and you continue to take a drop of poison, your body can build up an immunity. So one day you could drink a bottle and not even feel the harmful effects of it. It doesn't mean the harmful effects are not there. I met a man once, he said he got bitten by deadly snakes over 25 times. And he doesn't even need to take an antidote anymore when that happens, because his body has built up uh, we call it immunity, or is used to doing it just through doing it so many times. It's the same thing with unhealthy food. But, the body is the machine, and all machines wear out. All cells, all organs of the body, if you don't keep them clean, there's going to be consequences. The cleanest food to eat is foods that are the most unprocessed foods. Things that do not come in a bag, box, container, or can. The wrapping on the things we should be eating is the skin around the fruit or vegetable or the nut or seed. And the less we process it. So if you eat an orange or an apple right off a tree, or a banana right off a tree, or even from the supermarket shelf, it's going to be much better than eating an apple pie or a carrot cake or something like that. And just because you can get away with doing something doesn't mean it's good for you. I know people that can eat bad food, they could smoke cigarettes, they could drink, and they haven't been diagnosed with a medical disease. So they go into thinking, well, I guess my body's immune to that, or I can get away with it. Just because you're getting away with it doesn't mean it's good for you. This stuff does add up, and it builds up. And this is why you hear from people, they're overweight, they're eating unhealthy food, but they haven't been diagnosed with a medical disease, but then they're just walking and they'll have a massive heart attack or something. Because the medical tests aren't always going to pick up the things that are about to happen until they already happen. And the same thing with cancer. Most people aren't looking at the medical tests that are out there to show what your cancer markers are and so on until they get diagnosed with cancer. I think if people did that a lot sooner, they'd catch cancer a lot earlier and maybe have a better chance of surviving the issue. And that's the problem we got. Nobody wants to do anything until something happens. And at that time, they spend a year being trained or their life being trained to go to a medical doctor and take their drugs to just feel better. It's not getting you better, just to feel better. And this is a cycle that's been going on for a long time. But if we live a lifestyle of preventative, we want to call it preventative medicine or preventative lifestyle, and we do things that are going to keep us from not getting sick, the chances of us getting sick aren't eliminated completely, but they're a lot less. And thankfully, we have so much information out there now to show us what things are going to keep us as healthy as possible, long as possible, what things are going to help us to avoid diabetes, what things are going to help us to avoid a stroke, and all these different things. But with that choice, we got to go and act on it. We have to actually do something about it. We can't just say now we know and then just keep living the lifestyle that's contributing to those things. So hopefully when I say things like be warned about eating animal protein, just because you can eat it and get away with it, just because you feel good while you're eating it's not the answer. And I'm trying to warn and tell people, you're asking for a disease if you're eating a lot of animals. You're asking for a disease. And you might not think so because you don't feel a disease right now. It's not the way to go. It's not the way to go. Remember, you want to give your bodies the things that are going to keep it as healthy as possible. And that is fresh fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds. Properly combined, eaten at the right time in the right amount. It's that simple when we hear it, but to actually do it because of the addiction and the brainwashing and everything else, it doesn't seem that simple. And, so many people leave out many of the factors and they just want what tastes good to them or something like this. And you can make raw vegan food taste delicious, and you can make dead animals taste delicious, but one of them will keep you alive and one of them will kill you. There's raw food is, in other words, live food. It gives you life. Animals are dead food. They produce death, or they lead you to death much closer. And I do this because I want people to understand this and know this and try it. Don't take my word for it. Try it and see for yourself. All right? Stop making excuses. Stop giving reasons why. And I tell everyone, look, do what's working for you. If you're eating your meat and if you think it's working for you, go ahead and do that. But when it stops working for you, There's a saying, if you keep doing the same thing and expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity. So if it keeps working, great. If it stops working, change. And by I mean working, it's not just how you feel or how you look. I also mean your blood work, your energy levels, your sleep, your digestion, and all these different things. Because I don't care how good you feel or how good you think you look. If you haven't went to the bathroom in a week, something is wrong. If you're too tired to get out of bed, something is wrong. If you need coffee to stay awake, something is wrong. If you're getting pains and aches and all this stuff and you're a young person, something is wrong. Even if you're an old person, something is wrong. When you're doing things the right way, the body's a great marker to tell you. Because you shouldn't have the common pains and arthritis and definitely not the major diseases that most people are suffering from. So if that doesn't speak to you, I don't know what else will. So I hope you make wiser decisions. Try it for yourself. Go 1 week without eating any animal products and no coffee. 1 week. And see the difference. All right? And then take it from there. If you have comments or questions, post them below. And check out all the videos I have on my site. Until then, everybody, thanks for watching and have a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life